Hi Gabriel. Well, this is an analysis I'm doing, an initial analysis of the video you sent. There's a couple of things I think are important, so I'm dealing with those and not some minor stuff that I could obviously deal with. Try and do this if you can. And what I mean by extending the shoulder is extending it so that it's next to the arm. And if I show you here, so you're out there and I want you to be more stretching down the pull. So if I go back a bit, stretch, stretch, and get that close to your ear as opposed to down there. So that will make a big difference to what you're doing in the water, and hopefully it'll get you closer to the surface and allow you to breathe just by turning your head. The stuff on the catch and rotation on the single arm, that rotation is hugely important in keeping your spine absolutely straight. So just have a think about those two things and show me some more video when you're ready. We're just going to start as you enter the frame here, and one thing to note is that we do have a nice level of the hand there, but the head seems rather low. Effectively, if you look, the head's below the waterline. Now I've already drawn that above the waterline, but we're talking probably something in the region of an inch below where you need to be. So the surface of the water might be there, and we really need your head to be about there on the surface. There may be a reason for that, which we'll show you just in a second as we come forward. Now if you notice, the kickboard here is above your body. There's a gap between your body and the kickboard, and we really want the kickboard on, and one of the reasons is you've got the kickboard effectively directly under your arm there. We need the kickboard away from your arm, slightly back. So for example it would be, oh, wrong tool, sorry. So it would be here, not where it is, and then it could be pushed against your body. One thing you might be able to do is actually turn that kickboard round so it's 90 degrees turned that way, and then it would actually be shorter and you'll be able to just push it against that body. With that gap, what you've done is you've raised your arm from your body, and I think that's affecting your overall position in the water. The second thing we need to do to a certain extent is actually raise this arm a touch so that we actually get it up there and your head slightly higher. Now what you're doing at the moment is you're having a straight arm, but the shoulder is being pushed down. What we really want you to do, if we can, is to hunch that shoulder. So you push the shoulder upwards as opposed to down. So you sort of reach out with the shoulder forward, but upwards as well. That will actually raise this arm up slightly, and so you'd have an arm there, and the head would be that much higher and closer to the surface. So we need the two things to actually happen concurrently. The next thing we need to address is this kick, which is effectively kicking back against the water, because you are kicking very much, as you can see here, slowed down. You can see that's from the knee and not from the hip. Effectively, when you kick, you want the hip to rotate backwards and forwards and not have shorter legs by kicking from the knee there. You can see you shorten your leg each time and kick back. So you're kicking back against the water. Now the woman next to you isn't doing that. She's actually kicking, I've just slowed it down, with nice long legs, and that's what you need to do. You want to concentrate on the downstroke. Very much it's a downstroke and not a forward and backward stroke. And you can see she's being quite efficient there. I'll just show you that again at full speed. You can see she's kicking down and up. Slow it down. Down and up, and not backwards and forwards. We need you to be more efficient in the kick. That will definitely help you. And there she is again. Now coming back on the other side, we have a slightly different problem. You'll see that your arm is very much now extended downwards, pointing that way. And that's partly again because you've extended your shoulder. And if you look at it when your head's up, you can see your shoulder's really extended that way. And what we want you to do is we want you to extend it that way upwards. Sorry, I'll draw that again. That way upwards. So you push it forward and up, extending your reach as far as possible. And as you extend your reach, your shoulder will come up towards your head and support your head much better. That will also mean that your arm comes into that position far closer to the surface and straight, as opposed to going down. Because what you're actually doing there is, as you go forward, you're dragging yourself away from the surface. You can see that head move down. And that head moves down because there's a lot of resistance coming there, which will actually push you effectively into that position. So it's pushing you down into the water. You don't really want to do that. Again, we've got the legs kicking from the knee, but the actual body position is a lot better. If you raise that arm, or the shoulder should I say, upwards, that will push the head up. All you'll have to do is rotate the head to breathe. Your arm will be on the surface or close to the surface, and it'll make it a lot better for you. Here we are coming back on the same side, and you can see you've got the same problem. The arm's just pointing down. What you effectively want you to do is reach as far as possible. You can see now that that shoulder is definitely going downwards. So we want to reach with that arm as far as we can to the end of the pool. Point those fingers right to the end of the pool and stretch that shoulder forward and upwards to support the head. The next thing I think we should deal with is just your single arm with pull buoy. And it looks initially really quite nice, and you're certainly getting generally the feel of it. You can see you've got a catch there driving back. But we have a lack of rotation and extension of that arm, as we had in the kicking on your side with arm extended. You can see you're trying to get the catch there, but it's very wide, so you sweep in a circle. And you can see that circular sweep there coming to the back end. Effectively, what we want you to do is rotate the hips that way, so you extend the arm effectively coming forward right next to the head. Now it's difficult to draw there, but if you think that if you could hunch your shoulder, extend your arm forward towards the camera and actually reach forward whilst rotating those hips the other way, the opposite way to how you're effectively stroking, you would actually extend your reach, and it would actually be probably, when you think about it, slightly closer to the centre of your body, whereas you're out here. Now what tends to happen now is you're sweeping out and round and up. There you get the rotation, before you didn't. And again, we're coming outside the body, whereas what we'd really like is the arm to be something like there. You're there. So you're actually outside the body. It sweeps round and back, and we really want that to be underneath the body. And if you'd rotated your hips more that way, keeping a very straight body, you'd have got the arm closer to the body, and that would be coming in actually underneath the body, round about there, with an angle that effectively would be out there and there. We'll just check the other side here, and you can see exactly the same things happening. No rotation to the opposite side, so the catch is happening outside the body, and the drive back is happening, but it's in a circular motion as opposed to underneath the body. And that rotation is happening. You could breathe there, but you can see you're sweeping sideways as opposed to backwards. Now when you reach forward and you extend to the other side, you've got a slight bend in the body. You can see your feet are off to one side. When you stretch forward and rotate, you want to keep that spine absolutely still so it doesn't twist in any way whatsoever. We're twisting the spine there. So as you reach forward, when you reach forward and hunch that shoulder as if you were getting into a streamlined position, you hunch that shoulder, but you do not bend the spine at all. Otherwise you will go in a sideways motion. You'll just bend in the middle. You don't want to do that, and you want that arm, as I say, coming underneath the body and driving through, as opposed to sideways and driving you sideways. You can see that's a sideways movement towards the end, whereas what you want to be doing is actually pressing backwards the whole of the way. Okay, so now you've seen that. If you've got any questions, you can obviously post them below or get back to me by our normal means. Alright, hopefully that's helped you. If it hasn't, then obviously just communicate and we'll do something slightly different.